Hi, thank you so much for hearing me today. I'm Gina Funk. I am a person in your community. I want to ask how many of you have children to raise your hands. And how many get to sing them to sleep at night? How many want to sing them to sleep at night? Just 2? Okay, 3. How many cannot sing their children to sleep at night? That's 5 too many. I am here to raise awareness of a serious issue concerning our children. The children in our community are being forced to live with abusive parents. When a mother reports abuse, she loses the rights to her children. And there's nothing she can really do to get them back. Mothers who are not found unfit can't prove that they're fit. Is the system broken? And if it is broken, how long has it been broken? I think for a long, long time in history, women have to give up their children to people who are not safe or who are not the mothers. The mothers have to give up their children. Taking a kid away from a mom and a mom away from her children leaves long, long damaging effects on both the mothers and children. How are we going to keep our homes safe if we can't call the cops when our lives are in danger, being threatened, and we're in fear for our lives? And calling legal law enforcement doesn't help because the woman is hysterical, crazy, or trying to interfere with the father's parenting. Doesn't mom know best? How does a judge know best? How does an attorney of a child know best when they haven't spent the last decade with the man who threatened to chop them up on a regular basis? What could help? Can law enforcement have an incentive to follow through and become the support system for these women? Because these women are told that they need a support system, but there's only 3 sources around here, which is Family of Woodstock, Crime Victims, and Legal Services of the Hudson Valley. And New York City can't help, Albany can't help get these children into safe homes. What's a woman to do when the fear of repercussion from her community
Please wrap it up.
is turning her from a victim into a criminal and further victimizing the victims? The only way I can connect with my children is by ringing this bell. Thank you.
Alana Orr.
Thank you for having me tonight. Being that this month's theme is Parks and Recreation, I figured I'd piggyback off of that with my opening statement to mention that sex offenders aren't allowed within a certain area of parks. You'll understand that, right? Now, you might be surprised to know that judges in Ulster County Family Court have given child custody to registered sex offenders. How does this happen? It can start with a mother reporting abuse, either in family court, to CPS, or to law enforcement. And more often than not, these agencies don't respond the way they should. Oftentimes, a mother who reports to abuse to family court ends up losing custody of her children and sometimes, in some cases, isn't allowed to see them at all, not allowed to help them heal. Psychologists would tell you that, a child who's been abused, the only chance they have of healing from adverse childhood experiences is with the love and support and belief of their primary attachment figure, which they are being deprived of. A lot of times family court judges defer to reports from Child Protective Services, and they're not, executed in a judicious manner. There's a lot of assumptions, there's a lot of bias against a woman who's in duress. A child can report that they're being abused, but they're not believed because of their age, and mothers are accused of coaching the child. Even if the child has injuries, sometimes they'll say it happened at a playground, the abusers are believed. When does an abuser ever admit to abusing a child? But even when there's unequivocal proof of abuse, it's not prosecuted, it's not handled properly, and CPS reports are indicated against the protecting parent. An indicated report means that there's evidence of abuse, and the abusing parent ends up with unsupervised visitation or custody entirely. And a lot of times, it takes a while for a person to process, trauma, and reports aren't often made to law enforcement immediately. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. But what's happened, in my experience and in that of many of the women I work with in AMICABLE in America, are that when they're reported immediately, they're not prosecuted, and then when they go back with the report that they've gotten, they're not prosecuted because it's too late, even if it is within the statute of limitations. So some solutions that I see to this is mandatory arresting of abusers,
Please wrap it up.
mandatory oversight of custody evaluators, and some affirmative action to address the gender bias that's happening and the victim bias. Thank you.